What's up, homies? Let's talk about, is it worth it to build up cheap guitars? Well, I'll tell you right now, you're not going to get your money back out of them. But you could build a cheap guitar to play really well with minimal money. Some guitars don't require that many things to make them nice. So one in particular would be the ESP LTD EC10. Even though I did fretwork on it, it didn't take that long because the frets weren't that far off. Now this particular guitar next to it took a long time because the frets weren't glued in very good. Some were glued in high, some were glued in low, some were glued in kind of crooked. So I had to file all the frets down on this guitar and it took a lot more time. And you kind of want a guitar that has a fret level job, like, why not? It really makes the guitar play nice. It'll cost you around $100 to $200. I wouldn't pay more than $300 unless the guy was doing it on a Les Paul that was really nice and I wanted him to shine it up and everything. Anyways, let's talk about, is it worth it? It's worth it to me because these are playing guitars. These aren't guitars that I planned to sell to anybody. I have had guitars that I planned to sell to somebody, like I just bought it because it seemed lucrative and passed it on. But I have some statistics here as to about how much it costs to build a decent guitar. I mean, you have to learn the guitar building skills yourself, which is kind of like a long learning curve for me. What was really a pain in the ass is every time you turn any of these tuning pegs, like as you're working on a guitar, just get a string winder. I built one, but yeah, you don't want to be doing this. Like, if you're a real guitar builder, just buy a string winder, alright? It's not that big of a deal. And learn how to build the guitar. I'll show you on my channel. If you look early on in my channel, it tells you all the different stuff that I did to these guitars. Like, not on every one, but you could see me filing frets and making the nuts and soldering electronics, and there's other people that will show you. But let's say, is it worth it? I paid a total of $151 for this guitar. I bought it used off a guy for $65. I put $65 tuning pegs, $6 strings, and a $15 tailpiece. So it's $86 in parts on top of a $65 guitar. And now it's as good as any Les Paul in my opinion. It's a 13-pound guitar made out of heavy wood, and everything fits up good. It's really all that matters. You don't really have to worry about what it says up here. This guitar doesn't say anything up here. This is a $20 guitar. They typically would sell for $75 to $100, but I put $65 tuning pegs on it, a $40 pickup, $22 pots, so I spent $127 in parts on this blue guitar. $147 I spent total, so about the same I spent on either one of these guitars to make it into a nice guitar. It just took a little bit more work to file on these frets over here. Alright. The Squier Bullet. When you buy those new, it costed about $100, and you could typically buy one that's beat up like mine for about $150. The other one I bought for about $140 or something like that. And I spent $67 in parts, so $167 for the Squier Bullet. That guitar is actually worth money. This one over here. People like those. The Mexican Strat, I spent $145 in parts, $225 total. Yeah, that was worth it. You could sell those, but for around $300, you're not gonna make any money off those. Try not to fix up Mexican Strats and sell them. That's one that just kind of doesn't sell that well. Yeah. the Squire Bullet, the old classic one, yeah, it definitely sells a lot better than a Mexican Strat. Let's put it that way. The Series 10 by Bentley, I spent $153 in parts, but it was only a $20 guitar, $173. You can get into a guitar for around $175. That's what's really trying to tell you here. And I would say I've got my final statistics here about what they're worth. If you were to sell them on Craigslist or something. The labor. Do $2,000 worth of labor and you have a $2,000 loss pretty much. You're not going to get any money out of these guitars, you know what I mean? People want the name brand. What I did when I got that American Strat that I traded for one of these that I built up, I just sold the parts of it and I got $1,000 out of it. It's just because it had the name. It was worn out. All these guitars had more life in them than the American Strat that I sold, but go with the name.